Good morning, everybody. My name is Katie Carter. I'm the emergency response meteorologist with the National Weather Service, and we are going to get started on today's weather briefing. It is Monday, June 15th, 2026. So really the main concerns that we have are focused for the later part of the week, Thursday and Friday in particular, due to the return of extreme heat and severe weather potential. But Monday, today through Wednesday, there's not a whole lot going on, but given everything that is happening event-wise across the state with the 250 events, SAIL 250 specifically, we do have a lot to keep an eye on. So over the next few days, you'll notice that the weather pattern is typically benign. We have high pressure over us at the moment. It'll keep things dry and actually a little bit cooler in the wake of the cold front that brought the severe storms that we saw in at least a good part of the state yesterday and into the evening. By the time we get to Wednesday, we start to see a little bit more of an unsettled pattern setting up. It's possible that we could see a very isolated shower or thunderstorm, especially along the coast on Wednesday, but really that threat is looking quite low and severe weather is not expected on Wednesday. Getting to Thursday and Friday, that's when we are looking at our next round of severe weather potential. We'll see extreme heat returning, highs Thursday well into the 90s. And then come Friday, we're looking at a possible stalled front and remnants of a potentially tropical system or whatever might develop in the Gulf to bring us some additional rain on Thursday. So looking in the short term, as I mentioned, not too much through the middle of the week. Our 3-day severe storm potential is not bringing any threat for severe weather here through Wednesday. You notice tomorrow that threat for just general thunderstorms, but again, severe storms not in the forecast, just a small chance of an isolated storm. As we look into the extended, that Thursday through Saturday timeframe, the Storm Prediction Center has already put Thursday, a good part of the state, that generally from the Petersburg Tri-Cities and areas north, under a slight risk for severe storms. Now, this threat, we will keep an eye on and continue to monitor the evolution of this threat as we get a little bit closer to Thursday. We'll see more about how the timing is looking to pan out and what the specific threats are. At this time, it's looking likely to be a wind event for the threat on Thursday, but we'll have to see if hail or tornadoes turns out to be a factor in Thursday's forecast. Friday, although widespread rainfall is looking possible, it doesn't look like it's going to be a severe setup. And then into Saturday, things are not looking to be threatening at that point. Short term, even rain-wise, we have very little to even no rain expected for the first half of the forecast period. That's going to take us through Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. And then that Thursday through next early Monday timeframe is the one that we have a more widespread rainfall. Thursday, despite the severe weather chances, certainly we could be seeing some heavier rainfall with the thunderstorms, but Friday is the day that we're looking at for a more widespread statewide rainfall. Unfortunately, even with the rainfall that you see forecasted on the image on the right of your screen, just due to ongoing drought conditions, last Thursday we had a expansion of our D2 and especially D3, which is our severe drought here in Virginia, despite seeing rain events here and there that drop an inch or two of rainfall, and in some instances even more than that. It's just not been enough to alleviate the state of our drought concerns. Temperature-wise, as I mentioned, the next 2 days, although certainly not cool, are a big drop in the extreme heat and humidity that we've had over the last few days. So today, some of us will actually only be seeing highs in the 70s, but a lot of low 80s today and tomorrow. Wednesday, we start to creep up a little bit. We'll see upper 80s, maybe a few 90s, but then when we get into Thursday, that is the hottest day of the week by far. Heat and humidity will be very close to heat advisory criteria, so we could be seeing some heat advisories on Thursday. And again, that is a big day for the SAIL 250 event and heading into the weekend as well. But luckily, once we get past Thursday and then even Friday with the rain chances, Saturday and Sunday, at least for now, again, we're talking about next weekend on a Monday, so a lot can change, but at least Saturday and Sunday for right now are looking to be pretty nice, not threatening weather at this moment. Overnight lows, pretty typical for this time of the year, comfortable the next few days, and then creeping up a little bit with the humidity overnight. And then the probability of precipitation just reiterates what I've been saying, very limited rain chances through Wednesday, and then Thursday afternoon through the Friday time period are our best chances for accumulating rainfall. In addition to that, just given the wind profile that we have and our high tides, we have the potential of seeing some nuisance to very localized low end minor tidal flooding. I really don't see this being an issue, even for given all of the marine events that we have going on, but it is something to keep in mind, especially if you are right adjacent to the coastline. You might see some very minor flooding, up to 1 foot of inundation possible in the most vulnerable locations, but this is a really limited threat. It is going to extend through the Wednesday timeframe, though. So all of the high tide cycles today through Wednesday, we will have this threat for generally nuisance flooding. Now, this drought monitor is not new. It was updated last Thursday. Remember, we always get our drought monitor updates every Thursday. So Thursday's briefing will have the update, but I wanted to just put this in here because it reiterates how much of an impact we are seeing here in Virginia. Statewide, we are just in a lot of that D3 extreme drought, and we have not seen these drought conditions in quite some time, over 20 years, at least from what I'm hearing. But now that it's even worsening, we'll have to look back a little bit farther in time to see when was the last time we've seen it this bad, because it was a few weeks ago we were talking about 20 years, but if it keeps getting worse and worse, then of course that time frame is going to be a little bit greater. So we'll see how things pan out with the update on Thursday, but that will not include the rainfall that we see obviously on Thursday or Friday. So it's something to keep in mind. And then the last thing that I'll leave you with here is just the tropical weather outlook. So we do have a chance for a disorganized area of low pressure to develop in the northwestern Gulf. Now, whether or not this turns into some sort of tropical cyclone, it's far too early in the season. It's, not showing signs of becoming a hurricane or anything like that. It really needs to be much warmer water for that to happen, but it could have some tropical characteristics. Even if it doesn't, and it's just an area of low pressure in the Gulf, it's going to be a heavy rainmaker. So our friends in Texas and Louisiana, they are really closely monitoring the potential for heavy flooding in their area, despite what whether or not it becomes tropical. And then for us here in Virginia, models are showing signs that it will head our way, the remnants of it, and that's what we're really looking at to be our potential on Friday. And that's why we're talking about the potential for rain and more of a widespread rain on Friday, because the remnants of whatever that low pressure system may be are looking to bring us rainfall. And that'll probably be the extent of it. It's not going to be a wind event. It's just, how does it shape up? Where does it go? When does it get here? And how much moisture is left with it when it does? So unfortunately, there are a lot of questions as to the exact impacts here in Virginia, but rain is looking fairly likely for us come Friday as a result of this. Other than that, we will have updates likely daily, just given all of the events. I did put that the next weather briefing typically is on Thursdays, but given the fact that we just have a lot of events going on this week and some chances for severe weather a little bit later on, you'll likely hear from me a little bit more in your email inbox with additional briefings. But thanks for joining this morning. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My email is katie.carter@noaa.gov. And if you know anyone else who should be on this list, please just reach out and I will get them added. Thanks, everyone.